Hello everybody, my name is BluJay and we are beginning a brand new series today. That's right, Season 2 of the Let's Play series is officially beginning right now, and we are going to call it Reverb Outpost, and I'll explain a little bit later why I've named it that and what the theme for this series is gonna be. But before we get into that, what I want to talk about for just a second is my skin. I've got a brand new skin that I made a couple days ago before this series started, and I just felt like it was time for a little bit of a refresh and a redesign, and you know what? Hang on. There we go, that's better. It's a little bit cold out here, so we've got a jacket to wear as well. And I want to go ahead and throw an image right now. This is actually a skin that a friend of mine over on Twitter, he made this for me. His name is Zypher. I've mentioned him before, and if you've seen the Unity SMP, he made a skin for me over there as well that was basically a reshade of my original skin, and I used that for a few episodes, and I'm actually probably not going to use this skin right here that you're seeing on the screen, because with a brand new series, I wanted to do a bit of a refresh of my design. So I designed a new shirt, and I have a skin version with a jacket as well. So I just wanted to say thank you to him for his hard work and effort and sweat and tears that he put into making those skins for me. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Go check out his channel. I'll put his link in the description. Give him a shout out over on his comment section if you can. So let's not delay any longer. Let's get started with Reverb Outpost. Okay, so I've already found some sugarcane over here. The first thing we need to do on camera together, though, is go punch a couple trees. That is essential to beginning a brand new survival world, is getting some wood so you can craft up, crafting tables, and then wooden tools, stone tools, iron tools, all the way up to diamond tools, and hopefully we'll be able to get those pretty quickly and not drag our feet and, wait 20 or 30 episodes before we've got diamond armor and diamond tools. I hope we have those relatively quickly. But I do want to talk about something real quick while we're getting some resources gathered here right at the beginning. You can see in the bottom left-hand corner there, I've got coordinates. Now, I know what you're thinking. Cheats. They're enabled, and unfortunately, that's the way we had to do it. But I do want to give a bit of an explanation on why we enabled cheats and what we're going to be doing with that setting. I want to reassure you that we are not going to be cheating in this game. We are going to be doing a purely vanilla survival series, and unfortunately, in able to get coordinates, we had to enable cheats. So that's one reason why they're enabled. Another reason why they're enabled is because I wanted to test out the new game tick rule, I believe is what it's called. Basically what it does is it allows you to enable a certain area of coordinates, basically, where it will always remain loaded chunks. And I don't necessarily think of that as a cheaty kind of thing, because if you're thinking about, like, in the real world, stuff still goes on in the real world. And it's kind of like the concept of, if a tree falls in a forest and nobody is around, does it make a sound? Well, yes, but there's nobody there to perceive it. It still happens. A tree still falls over. So this is kind of the mindset that I'm coming to with this. The only things that we're going to be using that for are probably things like the iron farm that we're going to build a little bit later in the series, and things like, maybe an auto chicken cooker, just stuff that we don't have to stand right next to in order for it to be active and working, because in real life, they'd be working anyway. So hang on, let's talk about that here in a minute. Let's craft up our first set of tools here. We've already got our pickaxe and our axe, and let's get a shovel. And then we need to grab a wooden sword, and there we go. We've got our first set of wooden tools. I almost said iron. I didn't mean that, because we were talking about the iron farm a second ago. I'm going to be very careful this series to try to keep track of, like, special things. So, like, this is our first set of tools. So I'm going to try not to break them, and we'll keep them and put them on an armor stand or item frames or something like that a little bit later in the series once we get a base area established, maybe an armory or something like that. But anyway, back to the game tick rule that enables the loaded chunks to stay loaded even when nobody's around. I don't consider that to be a cheaty kind of thing. I think that is something that could realistically exist. And in the Java edition of the game, honestly, the spawn chunks actually stay loaded, and it's considered vanilla. So the spawn chunks, I've seen them over on Hermitcraft. I've seen them use those for like an iron farm, like the Iron Titan. They just transfer the spawn chunks to wherever the Iron Titan is going to go, and it constantly gives them, you know, a source of iron. So I think that's something that we're going to try to do, is use that new command in order to leave a few areas of our world constantly loaded, just so we don't have to, you know, AFK and stand there and not be able to play when we're ready to play. So let's be real careful here. Get out of here, spider. It's pretty dark, and I don't have a bed yet. I haven't seen any sheep around, and I'm really concerned because we really need to be able to sleep, because I don't want to have to make it through the night all the time like this. So we're going to try to find some sheep. I don't know when, but we'll just... Oh, no, 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 no. That was bad. Okay, well, there's the first. Oh, those creepers. They're going to be the bane of my existence for this series and for just me playing the game in general. Actually, you know what? Now that I think of it, in 1.2, since this is 1.2 now, I believe the mobs are a lot more frequent, and yep, there's another creeper right there. I think they spawn a lot more, and I think they're a little bit more difficult. I am on hard mode right now, so this might be a bit challenging. I was one-shotted by a creeper there, and ooh, this stray, I believe is what this guy is called. I haven't seen very many of these because I haven't played too much in a snow biome since those have been a thing. Oh, and there's all of our stuff just laying on the ground. Well, that's what happens sometimes. We don't have any armor. We need to get some armor. So my plan for today is really simple. It's not to do a whole lot. We're not going to do any building today. It's just basically to get set up. We're going to try to get a little bit better set of tools, not necessarily all iron, but I want to get a few iron tools, and I want to get a full set of iron armor if possible, because it's dangerous out here, and if we can't find a bed... Oh boy, there's another creeper. Let's get him out of here. And you know what? I don't think I can shift off of that anymore. I was hoping not to waste that arrow unless I had to, but well, oh well. That's the breaks sometimes. But yeah, I want to get iron armor as soon as I possibly can, because it is a dangerous place out here, and we need a way to protect ourselves, especially for creepers that sneak up on us like they just did a couple seconds ago. But all right, so let me get situated here. We're going to wait out the night, and then we'll go exploring. I'm not going to go out there right now while I'm unprotected, so I'll be back when the sun comes up in just a few minutes. Well, just kidding. I want to show you guys this real quick while we're waiting. This is cobblestone. Now, I know what you're thinking. It doesn't look like cobblestone, and it's not supposed to. I designed this block for a particular purpose for our main base area once we get there, because I've done a lot of pre-building in my creative testing world. It's not supposed to exactly look like cobblestone. So let me know what you guys think about that block. If you like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know what you'd like to change, and maybe I'll make some tweaks sometime in the near future. Let me know. All right, well, the sun is up, and let's take down these torches, and you know what? I'm actually going to leave one torch in here, because this is, like, kind of our first shelter. It got us through the night, but it's not exactly a house, so I don't really count that as our first, like, legit survival house or anything like that, but that's the place that got us through the night, through our first night. Even though we got creepered on the first night, and that didn't end well. But that's okay. So we're going to go exploring just to see what we see. And I already see some ice spikes over there to the left. Oh, I'm so excited. Ice spikes biomes are awesome, and I hope it's got a lot of packed ice, because we can use that for some redstone contraptions a little bit later, for like transportation systems kind of stuff. I don't know if you guys know what that is or what the use would be for that, but I'm sure we'll find out a little bit later. If you watch any other kind of PC, Minecraft, redstone kind of stuff, you've probably seen packed ice being used for that kind of stuff before. But anyway, so what I want to talk about while we're exploring, and if we find anything of interest, then we'll pause our conversation for a second, but I want to talk about the theme for this series, like I said. earlier in this episode. So it's called Reverb Outpost, and there's a particular reason why I chose that name. And there's a particular reason why I chose a snow biome. So just so you guys know, one thing about me, I am a huge sci-fi nerd and fan, and I love Star Wars. I own every movie, I've seen every movie multiple times, I've been to every movie multiple times in theaters, and, you know, I pre-order the tickets to the next movies and all of that kind of stuff. I'm a huge fan. So, if you guys have ever seen The Empire Strikes Back, and have seen, you know, the base that they've got there on Hoth, it's called Echo Base. Now, we're not going to do a one-for-one build of that, so don't get excited or anything like that. Don't get your hopes up. But we are going to take inspiration from that, and that's why we chose the name Reverb Outpost, for a couple reasons. So Echo Base, Reverb Outpost, they're kind of synonyms for each other. They're similar names, and that's the inspiration for the name of this base that I'm going to build. And this looks like a pretty decent place to stop just to set up for a minute. Let's take a look down here. Whoa, that's a long drop. Let's be careful not to fall down there. We may go exploring down there here in a few minutes and try to gather up some of that coal that I saw. But anyway, so that's going to be kind of the inspiration for this series. I'm not going to do, like I said, an exact replica or anything like that, but we're going to take a lot of inspiration from that base in particular. And I like the word reverb anyway because I am a musician, I lead worship for my church, and reverb is actually one of my favorite effects to use on, you know, a guitar or on a vocal mic or something like that. So it's kind of fun. So it serves multiple purposes for me, and I hope you guys are excited about this theme just as much as I am. If you're a Star Wars fan, I'm sure you'll love this series. Well, guys, you'll never guess what I found. Take a look. You see that off in the distance? That's our first village. Wow, that did not take long. Let's run over here and see what we've got. Oh, man, I hope there's a blacksmith. Oh, I would love that. I would love to find a mending book right off the bat because we didn't find one at all in our previous Let's Play series. Oh, that world was sadly glitched, and man, I don't see any blacksmith around. Oh yeah, take a look at that cobblestone. It really changes the look of villages, and I honestly quite like it. It's a little unconventional. It doesn't look like your normal village, but oh, look at that. Perfect. We found a food source. That is exactly what we need. Because wheat takes forever to grow. And you know what? Let's go ahead and take this chest while we're at it, because I'm sure we can use that here in just a second to store some of this stuff. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of this cobblestone. Again, it's not supposed to look like cobblestone. I've got a particular intention in mind for it. Yeah, no blacksmith, unfortunately. And, it's going to serve as like a beam kind of thing. I'm more thinking of the cobblestone walls and how I want to use them as like beams, and they don't look like beams when they have the cobblestone texture. They just look like cobblestone walls, which that's okay, but we want it to look a little bit more like modern sci-fi kind of thing. So that's the look we're going for. And while we're talking about textures, I've got two custom textures that I've made. One of them is the one that you've seen, the cobblestone block. And I've also done a custom texture for glowstone, which you'll see later on when we get to the nether. And the other textures I'm using the Faithful PE 64x64, and I'm using the SSPE shaders for the entire series. I used those on World Tours the last season, but I loved them so much that I thought, you know what, we're going to use them for the entire series this go-around. So that village was a bit of a dud. We didn't find much. We found some food, which is nice, so we've got a consistent source of food now, but we didn't find any, like, precious resources or mending books or enchanted books or anything like that. Just some food, and that's okay. So we're going to go caving right now. We're going to go exploring and trying to see what we can find and hopefully not fall down into that massive opening right there. I don't think that I would consider this a ravine. I don't think that it is. Maybe there are small ravines like this, but I think this is more just like a really deep cave. but I would love to find a ravine. I hope that I find one relatively close by, and I think we will, hopefully, because it's a brand new world generated in 1.2. This seed has never been generated before, and I just kind of basically went through a bunch of seeds until I found one with a snow biome, and I found a couple, and I asked for some suggestions on Twitter as well if anybody had seeds, and this one is one that I actually discovered myself. And it's one that I really was happy with and landed on, and it's the seed we're using for this series, and I will leave that seed in the description for you guys because I know a lot of people asked for the seed last season, and I didn't put that in the description until later on in the season. So the texture packs will be in the description, the seed will be in the description, all of the stuff that you want to know, that's all going to be in the description from day one. So now that you guys know the theme of our series, while we continue to dig down, I want to ask you guys a question. And the question is, what kinds of things do you want to see from this series? I know there are some things that I did not get around to in Season 1 that I would love to get around to this time around, mainly like different types of auto farms. Wow, there's a spider down there. Let's make sure he's not coming back up to get us. Oh, and yes, he is. Let's, oh. Well, he just fell down on his own. That was easier than I thought it was going to be. But there are definitely some things that I did not get around to in Season 1 that I wanted to do here, like different types of auto farms. I didn't really get any animal farms really well established. I had a cow farm, but it wasn't really even a cow farm. It was just a starter area for cows. So I had a chicken cooker, and that was pretty much it for that kind of stuff. So I want to do more of that kind of thing. I want to honestly do more creative building. And when I say creative, I don't mean I'm going to go into creative mode and cheat in a bunch of resources. We're not going to do any of that kind of stuff. Any of the resources that we gather in this series are all going to be stuff that we gather from mining or resource gathering or all of that. We're not going to cheat anything in. So what I mean by creative building is not necessarily building something just for a practical purpose. That was my mindset of Season 1. You know, we built like the blacksmith shop, and we built the horse stables, and we built all of those kinds of things, which were awesome, and I still want to build those types of builds for practical use, but I also want to have just some creative builds just because it's fun. And that's the joy and, you know, fun of Minecraft, is that you don't always have to have a purpose for building something. It doesn't have to serve a practical use. It can just be something because it looks cool and it's fun. So that's kind of the mindset I'm coming into this series with, is I'm going to do the practical stuff. I'm going to do the auto farms. I'm going to do some redstone. But I'm also going to build stuff just because it's fun. So what kinds of themed kind of builds would you guys like to see? Are you into the farms? Are you into the redstone? Are you into the creative builds? Are you into the practical stuff? What do you guys want to get out of this series? And I definitely want to keep those things in mind as we go forward, because this is an open canvas. It's an open book. We haven't done anything yet. I've got some plans in mind, and I've got a general idea about the main base area, but all of the details and specifics as far as that main base area go, it's pretty open at this point. So let me know what you guys want to see, and I'd be happy to consider those suggestions in the future. All right, we're smelting up some iron here because our stone pickaxe is about to break, and we're going to get our first iron tool. There we go. We've got an iron pickaxe, and we are on the way. We're, quite honestly, not too far away from diamond. If we can find some diamonds, we'd be able to do that. I'm not sure if we'll find any today. I'm not the best at finding diamonds when I go caving like this. I usually find them when I'm branch mining, which we're not going to set up a branch mine today. We're probably going to wait until we locate our main base area, because I want it to be in that general vicinity, if not like a part of the base. But we'll do some caving from time to time. We'll do some branch mining from time to time. A lot of that might be, you know, off camera, but if you guys want to see that kind of stuff as well, in addition to the building, what kind of adventures do you want to see me go on? Do you want to see me find new biomes? Do you want to see the boss fights? We're definitely going to fight the Ender Dragon again. We'll probably fight the Wither, honestly, multiple times, because I've got, again, back to that creative building conversation, I've got ideas for creative ways to use the beacons, and we're going to need several of those, so we'll probably have to fight the Wither multiple times. We only fought the Wither once in the previous series, and we only fought the Ender Dragon once in the previous series, and both of those bosses you can fight multiple times. So let me know what kind of adventures you guys would like to see in this series as well. Let's keep on gathering some resources. We won't do a whole lot of this on camera just because it's the beginning and there's not a whole lot to do, and I just want to get enough iron to craft up some armor and maybe a few more tools. So I'm going to go ahead and gather some more resources. I'll be back with you in just a minute. All right, folks, here we go. We're going to craft up our first set of armor made out of iron. We're skipping the leather armor and going straight for iron. There's our helmet, and there's our chest plate, and there are the pants, and I don't have enough iron for shoes. Let's go get that. Be right back. All right, went down, got some more iron, and I got a few more pieces so that we can make shoes and maybe a couple more tools. So let's go ahead and smelt that up and take a peek around and make sure there's nobody around that's going to try to creeper us or, you know, get us with bows and arrows or any of that kind of stuff. We don't need any of that nonsense right now, especially around our plants, because this is super early on. That's our only source of food for the moment. We don't want that stuff going bye-bye. And there we go. There's an iron sword. And let's go ahead and grab these two pieces out of there. And let's go ahead and grab the fourth piece as well. We'll make our shoes real quick. And there we go. Perfect. We've got a full set of iron armor in the first episode. That is not half bad. Let's go ahead and put all this armor on, and we are well protected now. Hopefully safe from all of the nasty, mean mobs that come out at night. All right, I think we're safe. Well, I did some looking, and I was right. The texture pack that I was using was out of date, and it was preventing that little paper doll from showing up in the top left-hand corner of the screen, and I quite like that. Let me know what you guys think about leaving him up in the corner. And then the coordinates, I could take him or leave him right there in the middle of the screen. I can't do anything about it because the texture pack pushes them over. Normally they're supposed to be over underneath the paper doll, unless the paper doll is hidden. Then they're in the very top left-hand corner of the screen. It'll take some getting used to having those there. And if you guys don't like them, maybe we can turn them off from time to time when we don't need coordinates. But for now, since we're doing a little bit of discovering and trying to find out where things are, we're going to leave them on for the moment. I'm basically just going to walk around for a minute until I find where I think we're going to start our base, and then I will show you the location of the Reverb Outpost when we get there. This might be it, but I'm going to keep looking. I'll be right back. All right, guys, you need to check this out. I did some more walking around, and I believe that we have found the place we are going to build our base. And it's going to be in the side of the mountain. Check this view out. That is amazing, and it's right next to the ice spikes. This is it. This has got to be the location for our base, and we're going to get rid of that lava flow right there because it's going to get in the way of mainly our doorway. But other than that, this is perfect. This is it, guys. Well, guys, that is all the time that we've got for today, and in the words of a famous supervillain, we have found the location of the Rebel base. Well, it's not going to be the Rebel base, but it's going to be our base, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to this series, guys. I hope you are excited just as much as I am. Got a lot of great plans in mind, and I hope to hear your plans as well. And to end this episode, I don't have a comment or question of the day just yet because this is the very beginning of this series. So leave those comments, leave those questions, and I would be happy to answer a comment or a question in every episode from this point forward. So that's what we're going to do to recognize some of our subscribers, is to answer some of your questions more frequently. So let me know in the comment section what you liked about this episode, even what you didn't like, and what you'd like to see in the future. And if you really enjoyed the content of this episode and the rest of my channel, feel free to check out the Patreon that I've got going on. I've got some great rewards that you guys could benefit from if you decide to support the channel in that way. But for now, my name is BluJay, and I've got to fly on out of here. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.